Welcome back to episode 68 of the ATD Baseball Podcast, final division preview. It's
We
gone
made
these
it.
last, these last 6 weeks have gone by really fast, and it is leading us to our big trip in Florida coming up this weekend.
That's right.
We'll have more details on that, and you're gonna see it. So just be prepared. You've been warned. Um, Full house today. Myself, Kyle, and Matt. Before we take care of some housekeeping things and before we jump in this division, gentlemen, how are we doing today?
I'm doing amazing today, and that's not completely all baseball related. There's been a lot of shakeups in the NFL. I got to bring this in.
Oh
Saquon
shit!
Barkley shifting sides to the better side of the rivalry, coming home to Pennsylvania. Um, Careful, Kyle may beat me up when I go to pick him up to take him to the airport on Saturday morning. So I got to watch what I say here. But
Damn right,
that made
Matt.
me very happy today. Combine that with the fact that, like Mello said, we're going to be meeting up in Tampa, Florida. Beautiful, sunny Tampa, Florida in a little over a week. A little less than a week, actually. Um, Makes for a great day. I am really looking forward to this division too because there's a lot of interesting things for each of these teams, even down to the A's. Maybe not the team itself, but the over under for the A's is very interesting this year. So I'm doing
95.
fantastic. Yeah, 95. Um, Kyle, how are you?
Yeah, so I myself as well am doing fantastic, and I will tell you exactly why here. It's not every day that your favorite NFL team gets rid of an injury-prone bum who
Oh,
then signs with his division rival who is completely overpaid. But hey, we are not in the NFL season. We are gearing right up to get into Major League Baseball here. Can't be more excited. Um, yeah, I'm ready, fellas. I'm very excited for our trip here.
yeah. I personally would take a cheesesteak over New York pizza, but anyway.
That's crazy. That
Ooh.
you guys, you guys are teaming up here, fighting words.
um, yeah, no. Doing good. Finally, kind of we're not there yet, but the week is here. But yeah, I'm doing good. Dodgers, continue what you're doing. Gavin Lux, please remember how to throw a baseball to first, please. Um,
Mm,
if not, there's a guy in Milwaukee that I'm very interested in.
still
Jeez.
on that train.
I'm still on that train.
Can't get the
I
two for
want to
one with
win.
Burns
I
anymore,
want
though.
to win. No, I can't. But it's okay. We'll get him in free
Williams.
agency next year,
Get
anyways.
Devin Williams.
It's okay. There you go. There you go. I want to win. I just
Yeah.
want. I just want to win. That's all. But just some kind of housekeeping stuff. I don't think we ever settled on what we were actually gonna mention. Uh,
Couple
Lucas
injuries.
Giolito.
Yep.
Yeah. Uh, Sucks to hear that, especially just signed with a new team, and for the Red Sox, it's like that's the last thing that they needed to happen. But unfortunate, and I think it was confirmed today too this morning that he is done
Yeah,
for
he's
this
done for the
season.
season.
Yeah. So good thing though is that the contract that he signed it does guarantee him next year at least. So he will be back next year. But unfortunate for the Red Sox and unfortunate for Giolito.
Yeah, we're not going to spend too much time on this, but it's a tough break. Red Sox were looking for a guy to be a consistent guy who's going out there every fifth day to eat innings, but also to be a sturdy, reliable starting pitcher, a guy who can go 5, 6 innings on some of his better days. He's going to be pitching you some good games out there, and now you're losing him for the whole season. The only, if I can take a bright twist on this, if I can, it gives maybe some more opportunity to some of the young guys in the rotation. Brian Bayo, who got that extension recently, as well as Cutter Crawford. Um, they've got some guys there that you could be excited about, and maybe it gives a little bit more shine to them. But yeah, tough news for the Red Sox and for Giolito as well.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more with you guys here. The Red Sox are obviously at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to the AL East, and Giolito gave them some sort of a fighting chance a little bit in that pitching rotation. He's a veteran guy, and we tend to forget that Giolito was 1-2 in Chicago. Giolito can pitch to a very efficient level when he's on and when he's right. Um, but no, Matt, I also want to kind of talk about a little bit of what you just said with Brian Bello. I mean, I think he's a fantastic pitcher. I love what they have up there in Boston in Bello. I also think they have a good sort of young core gaining in that pitching rotation. Obviously, it's nowhere set, but some of those guys in that rotation I like. You mentioned him earlier. I mean, Cutter Crawford. He's a guy who we have seen when he's right and when he can, throw the ball consistently and accurately. I think he's a good guy. But no, Bello, I'm really excited to see out of him this season. Coming off that fresh extension, he gets to settle down in a new home for the next, I believe it was a 6-year contract. Um, Settle into a home where he knows he's going to be, and kind of just work on his craft. And it's going to be very interesting to see um, his campaign this year, and I think it's gonna be nothing but good in Boston for Bello and the Red Sox.
I mean, also other injury news. Don't want to bring this up or possible injury. We don't know yet, but going for an MRI, Gerrit Cole. Um, Kyle, you're gonna have the best information for us or most up to date information. So, thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I was very close to having a heart attack when I first saw that very first tweet earlier today. That Gerrit Cole is having MRI on his pitching elbow. When you hear that, your first automatic thought is TJ, UCL, kind of all in there. And although per Andy Martino. Word around the team is that Cole's exam is precautionary, while acknowledging that the MRI can result in a number of different diagnoses, including worst case scenarios. The Yankees don't seem overly worried about losing Cole for a long period of time, which that's bright news. I kind of calmed down a little bit when I heard that report, but at the same time, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. If Gerrit Cole, if this comes back, God forbid that this is a TJ situation or a UCL, whatever it is in between, um, the Yankees are done because this pitching rotation cannot hold up. I mentioned to you guys earlier before we start recording that the only other reliable piece in this rotation coming into the season, as crazy as this sounds, is Marcus Stroman. I mean, Carlos Rodon, we don't know what we're going to get out of him this upcoming season. Nestor Cortez, he hasn't been right either. And Clark Schmidt is a wild card. I mean, he's a young guy who showed a lot of potential, but when you need a full staff, Gerrit Cole's your guy, man. I mean, best pitcher in baseball. Um, so no, this is obviously it's still up in the air. We don't know what's going to happen, but I'm definitely holding my breath here because this news of whatever test that he's going to have can make or break the Yankees season, and it scares the ever living shit out of me, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they're just hoping the best for Cole here because good guy and pitches an amazing baseball. So you want to be able to watch him, even as a not a Yankee fan. You're still hoping for the best for him, hoping for good results here. So yeah, just hoping everything's going to be okay. Maybe he skips a start or two, or doesn't pitch the rest of spring training, whatever it looks like for him to heal up here. But yeah, hoping for the best for Gerrit Cole.
Yeah, even if he doesn't have to pitch the rest of the spring training, I know pitchers and hitters are different, but it's Gerrit Cole. Yeah, I know it's precautionary, but I wouldn't be worried about, oh, is he going to be ready to go for opening day or is he going to be ready for April? It's like he's fine. He's a Cy Young Award winner. He's a great pitcher. Would not be worried about, hey, let's make sure that he gets all his starts in spring training.
Correct.
Just for right now, just make sure that that elbow's fine. That's the
Yep.
main concern.
Couldn't
Exactly.
have said it better.
Um, what else do we have? There's not really any other news, right?
Joey
It's
Votto's up in Toronto now. If we want
Votto
out a little
is
bit.
yeah, Votto
Vato.
is he's getting out of his depression stage? Is there? I mean, I know it's
Is that what I
all the
have to do to
shtick.
get a?
Yeah, really. Not to take videos in the car wash, Melo, saying that you want to be signed by an MLB team, and
Yes.
eventually they'll sign you out of pity.
Yeah,
Um,
not pushing
yeah,
those
I
cards
don't.
anymore.
Well, who said I'm not getting a spring training invite? Why else do you think we're going to Florida? Uh,
Signed with the Blue Jays on a minor league deal, which is crazy because I think at the beginning of the offseason, people were saying there was 3 or 4 teams interested in him. So I was definitely thinking he was going to get a major league job, at least as a bench bat. But now starting off as a minor league deal seems a little bit crazy, but
he's got to earn it,
I guess.
I guess so.
which is crazy to say.
I know. I just feel like there could have been some team, like the Marlins, could have used him to come off the bench as a bat piece. I There's got to be a team. Now, maybe he didn't want to sign with them. That could be part of it. So maybe he chose to not sign a major league deal with, like maybe the A's offered him, lowballed him a cheap deal as a bench piece. Maybe he didn't want to play for the A's. Understandable. But I just thought that he was definitely getting a major league shot. But I guess not. Good for him that he's coming back, though. I like to see it and sign with the Blue Jays as he is Canadian, too. So that's pretty cool. But that's about all I got on him.
Yep. Happy for Votto. Hopefully he finds his way back on the major league roster, which is crazy to say that in 2024. After pretty much a lot of stuff that he's done for the Reds and in baseball, this guy's got to earn it. Crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, I also think we forget we're talking about a potential future Hall of Famer here. I mean, having to earn his spot, I mean, that's crazy to think about. But if there was one other team other than the Reds that I want to see him on, it is the Blue Jays. I like that he's back in his hometown. I think that's really cool for him, get to finish off his career in a place where might not seem too distant away from, quote unquote home. So it's nice for him, nice for the Blue Jays. Hopefully they do give him a shot on the major league roster. I mean, he could be just one injury away. You never know. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. All right. I think we covered pretty much everything else, right? So we're going to jump into the AL West predictions and previews. Now, we're starting at the bottom again here, Mello.
Yeah, Angels. No, I'm just kidding. We'll
We
start
got
with
to
the
make a rule here, though. Melo's not allowed to talk about the Angels because that's all that he talks about, and
yeah,
he's only allowed to talk about the Dodgers. So
yeah, and you see that's the difference. Other people here in Southern California at a specific radio station, they tell Angel fans what they want to hear. I tell you what you need to hear. That's the difference.
there you go. Now, starting off with the A's.
I have them. They traded for Ross Stripling, and they signed Alex Wood. Which that's not. Hey, they were both Dodgers. Uh, that's not terrible.
No,
That's good actually. That's
but that's pretty much it, though. So,
that's pretty much it.
um,
Yeah.
not not a lot going on there. Now, listen, we all know the A's are not going to be a competitive team this year, and we're probably going to talk more about their potential move to Las Vegas than we are going to be talking about their baseball performance this year. That being said, some of the names on here, listen, I can spin this in a bit of a positive way. I'm not saying the A's are going to be good in any way. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying here. But people that you could be excited about, Zach Galoff had a nice little end to this season last year. I mean, then Brent Rooker had a nice beginning to the season last year. Didn't end well at all. Shea Langoliers at the catcher position, we've seen nice things from him. Esteury Ruiz, obviously huge threat on the base paths. Got to get the bat a little bit better too. And now they have him listed as just a bench piece for now, but he could easily find himself in a starting role. Lawrence Butler as well on this team. There are some listen, there's some players that if you're tuning into A's games, it could be exciting to watch. Specifically, mostly Asturi Ruiz and maybe some of the other guys that I mentioned too. Zach Gloff. But yeah, I mean, this is an easy last place, and we'll get to the over under in a minute here, which is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Really not much else to say. They have some good young pieces, but you got to see more. Got to see more. Just A's are a mess right now. There's really no other way to put around it. Their fans have turned on really the owner, not the team. It's the owner. Um, we don't know what their future is going to be like,
Nope.
and the product that they're putting on the field is not that great. It's a mess, but they have young pieces that Matt just listed off. That if you're an A's fan, I'm like, all right, we got something. It's not nothing.
Yeah, it's not like quite like other years where they literally
No,
had nothing. So
Yeah, I mean, this you guys pretty much hit it. There's not really much else to say about this team.
Jesus, this is depressing.
I mean, it really is because at the point of where the A's are, it is sad for baseball. Because I've said it before, I like the A's. I like them as a franchise. I like their history. I like what they're about. But they have fallen so far from grace that it is hard to have any sort of confidence or twist any kind of positives that you want to twist just because of where the team's at um, as a whole. So for me, it's set at 57.5 for the over under. I don't I don't want to do this, but I'm taking the under. I mean, it's just like I said, it's a bad team, bad club, bad overall organization. I mean, it really sucks for baseball where the A's are at right now.
yeah. Now, what did we determine that they won? How many games did they win last year?
50.
51, I think. Oh, 50.
50, 51.
Yeah. I believe they were 50 and 112.
Hmm.
It's hard for me to see that they got any better whatsoever. I mean, yeah, they brought in some nice pieces, but not 7.5 games worth of pieces.
Matt, think with
Yeah,
your head, not your heart.
yeah. Give me the under here again. That's what I was thinking. I mean, come on now. It's under. I don't know. They're not a 50-win team. I don't think. Maybe a
They're not a
55.
61 team either.
No, they're not. They're not. So give me, give me the under.
Yeah, give me the under two. And just a little bright spot. The best thing that has come out of all this with the A's is that their fans have really stepped up and they're not taking shit from Manfred. They're not taking shit from John Fisher. They organized their own fan fest a couple weeks ago, and they had a big turnout with the mayor included. They had that one game protest, you know, in Oakland where they made a bunch of noise, and it's been spreading around. It seems like we're all wherever the A's go on the road. I always see the T-shirts sell, in green, and I see other fans of other major league teams that are on board with them too. So
Agreed.
if there's one big bright spot from all this is that the fans are stepping up and they're not taking what they're getting from Major League Baseball.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with the A's with the whole relocation and or new stadium or all that
Sacramento.
stuff. Yeah. And, we'll see what happens. But moving on, then Mello, I'm guessing you're going with the Angels next.
Yeah, let's do the junk. No, just kidding. Um, Angels. Once again, I was right. Sorry, I was right. Um, they fired Phil Nevin, which kind of felt bad. But anyway, that's
Um,
a conversation. That's a conversation for another day. Um, they, which is rare, something you never hear with the Angels. They actually hired the right dude, Ron Washington. I think that's probably one of, if not the best, managerial hiring this offseason. Um,
100%.
Definitely.
Finally got the right dude. They signed Adam Polaric to a 1 year contract. And like I said at the beginning, I have to mention it. Otani left to go to the Dodgers. That's what I have for your Anaheim Angels.
Yeah, not too much really
But
for
they
the
still
Angels
have
other
good
than
pieces
they
on
do.
the active roster.
They definitely do. Um, don't forget about Mike Trout. He exists in
Oh
this
yeah,
world. Yeah. Just because Shohei Ohtani left, Mike Trout is still an insane player. Um, Now, just to run up and down their lineup here, Mickey Moniak, old, well, I don't know if I'd use friend of mine from Philly. Um, Nolan Shanuel showed out a little bit at the end of the season last year. Like what we saw from him. Mike Trout, Anthony Rendon, already injured again this year, reportedly, or at least dealing with
supposedly.
a little something tweak. Taylor Ward, who had that really insane insanity run, like that wasn't last year. I think that was 2 years ago. Um,
2022.
yes, Brandon Drury, Luis Rengifo, Logan O'Hoppe, and Zach Neto. Neto had a nice little rookie season last year as well. The rotation, they have not signed Blake Snell yet, so we'll see. This could change. It could happen. Currently, Reed Detmers, Griffin Canning, Patrick Sandoval, Tyler Anderson, and Chase Silseth uh, in the rotation there. Personally, rotation's not great. I like Reed Detmers and I like Patrick Sandoval, but other than that, not a big fan of that rotation. The lineup, it's it's good. It's not a great lineup, I don't think, but it's good. I like Trout, obviously. Ward, if he can stay healthy. Brandon Drury, Logan O'Hoppe, Zach Neto. I like those names there. Now, I'm not looking for the Angels to really. I don't think they're going to make it much of a case to make it a 4-team race in the AL West, but I don't think they're going to be an awful, just terrible team this year by any means either. They should be around 500, I think.
But that's not what that's still not good.
No, no, it's
The
not.
Angels are in this. The Angels have been stuck in this for the last couple seasons. They're not terrible, but they're not great. They're okay.
Yeah,
And then unfortunately in sports, okay is not, and especially in baseball, being okay is not usually means you win a lot of games. You're okay. You're 500 or a little less than below that. Two names that would really be nice on this team. You mentioned it, Blake Snell. Can they go get JD Martinez? Can they just slot? I know they have Brandon Joey listed as a DH, but go get a JD Martinez. So you know what? He's going to guarantee you in the lineup every day, and he's going to guarantee you 20 to 25 home runs,
yep,
and he's going to give you 80 plus RBIs. Um, yeah, this Angels team is not horrible. It's not. And I know I bag on them a lot, but it's not horrible. But again, it's just this is a fourth place team. Just compared to the other three teams in front of them, those teams are better. I love Ron Washington, and you guys have heard me say this a million times. I think the manager can win you a couple games. It's just this. It's just Angels team is okay. It's okay.
yep,
Yeah, so I mean, my quick little 2 cents on this. I like a lot of pieces that they have. I listed my breakout player as Logan O'Hoppe. I think if he can give you a full season, his defense can use some work, but that bat has shown tremendous potential, tremendous. And I love what I've seen out of Logan O'Hoppe. And I really started following his game when he was in Philly. And the pitching rotation is not great by any means, but I do like Patrick Sandoval and I like Reed Detmers. I think with them two having a full season, I think they can give you some innings for sure. Um, and I don't think we mentioned this yet, but their bullpen has seen tremendous upside. Like they've added a decent amount of bullpen pieces with Matt Moore, Adam Simber, Robert Stevenson, and I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe they added Luis Garcia as well. Um, these
Yep.
these are names that can give you a complete 180 in the bullpen. Um, Now I'm kind of on the same train as you guys. I don't think they're a great team, but they're not bad. If Mike Trout can stay healthy for more than, I don't know, a little more than half the season, I mean that means something. Mike Trout is still a phenomenal player, and I think he's getting overshadowed a little bit, and that kind of pisses me off, to be honest with you. We got to remember who Mike Trout is, with or without Shohei Ohtani. Um, However, Ohtani is a big loss. But I I don't hate what they have here. And Mello, you had mentioned it. Ron Washington, I think he was a tremendous hire. I think he's the guy for the job. Um, Now the Angels finished at a 73-89 record last season. Um, with the over and with the over under set at 72 and a half. This is tough. However, we kind of touched on it. I think Ron Washington's the guy. I like what they made in the bullpen. And I like some of the pieces. I think it kind of all just has to mesh together. And I think it will for their sake. I'm not saying they're going to finish second in this division or something, but 72 and a half, I think, is a lower number for the Angels. So I'm taking the over here.
Yeah, that's an easy over for me too. I don't 72 and a half. They're not that bad. I mean, if you would have
No.
put it at 78, maybe it would have taken me a bit more time to try and figure out
I would have swapped
what
the
I
under.
wanted to. Yeah, so it would have been really close then. But here, I have no issue going the over here, and there's there's a chance they finish like 500 or like right at a little above 500. That's not good enough to get you in the playoffs, I don't think, but still, just the names that we listed, we've seen great things from a lot of guys in this lineup, and if they can put it all together at the same time, it would make for a really great season this year. But the problem is those guys just don't have a history of putting it all together, and what's the odds they do it at the same time? Not too great. But yeah, give me the over.
Yeah, this is an easy over for me. Mike Trout only played 82 games last season, and they they won 72 games last season. And he was basically out for half the season. So I think if he can stay healthy, this is could be a 75 to 79 win team, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah, easy over. Good job, Angels.
yeah. There we go. Now from
Hope
here
they're
we
hating.
go a couple different ways. You're probably going to Mariners though, right?
Yeah, let's do the Mariners. Let's do the Mariners. Seems like them too. They were kind of subtracting a little bit here.
Agreed.
When I was filling this out, they were doing a lot of trades. Uh, Traded Luis uh wow, Eugenio Suarez to Arizona, and they got two right-handed pitchers back, which I have to add, they both are going to Tommy John surgery. I have to mention that. Traded Jared Kelnick to Atlanta for a couple pitchers. They signed Mitch Garver to a 2-year deal, $24 million. Um, they traded for Mitch Haniger, Anthony DeSclafani, uh, and they gave San Francisco Robbie Ray, and then they flipped uh, Anthony DeSclafani and they traded for Jorge Polanco from Minnesota. That's what I have
Yeah.
for the Seattle Mariners. A lot of moving pieces here. A lot of trades.
And they came out before the offseason and said they wanted to cut payroll, which they definitely did. And they also said before about wanting to cut down on strikeouts, and they did that as well. I mean, trading away Suarez is huge because he's a big strikeout guy. Now, I think I'm willing to sacrifice some strikeouts for some production in my book, but some people don't see that as a good trade off. Their current projected lineup: J.P. Crawford, Julio Rodriguez, Jorge Polanco, Mitch Garver, Cal Raleigh, Mitch Haniger, Dominic Canzoni, Ty France, and Josh Rojas. Solid lineup. Some people maybe you'd like to be a little bit better in there, but like J Rod carrying that. Cal Raleigh, we've seen some great things out of. Jorge Polanco has been solid his whole career. J.P. Crawford, definitely solid as well. Now, the rotation is really where you're going to get me excited about this team and where you're going to tell me, hey, there's a chance this team is really, really good. Luis Castillo, Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Bryce Miller got off to a real hot start last year, and Brian Wu at the end there. Wish they wouldn't have traded away Paul Sewald last year at the trade deadline, so he'd be closing it out for them, but that's not the case. But yes, I love their rotation. Their everyday lineup, uh, it's good. It's not great. I'm not sure where I'm at on this Mariners team yet. Honestly, they disappointed last year by regressing and not making the playoffs, and then they proceeded to stay the same or even subtract a little bit with the trades they made this year. I think they're almost more worried about the cap and how much money they're spending than they are about how many wins they're getting. I don't know. Don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it either. And Seattle's kind of been the center of here for baseball the last couple of years. They had the All Star game last year, in which all their fans were basically kind of making their pitch for Otani to consider Seattle at least. Obviously, the front office, did not want to do that. They said that they were going to downsize payroll, and then they finally made the playoffs in 2022. And that was a big deal. And they've come close the last couple of years and they've missed it. Yeah, this lineup is. Eh, you really got to get a lot out of some of these guys. I think for this lineup to Julio Rodriguez has to be Superman. Has to be Superman. He has to play every day, and he has to put up monster numbers if this Mariners team wants to go anywhere. Not worried about the rotation. Love it. Very good. They're gonna keep you in ball games, but to me, Julio's got to take another step this year. He's got to be Superman.
Yeah, I pretty much have nothing to say about this rotation, except for what you guys had said. The lineup does worry me a little bit. I do like the addition of Jorge Polanco. I've always been a Polanco kind of guy. I loved watching him in Minnesota. Um, However, I think they just made way too many subtractions. And what doesn't get me excited is the fact that if they're cutting payroll this season with the team that they had last season, what does that tell me for the future? I mean, when the Yankees traded for Juan Soto, the Mariners were a team to look out for, right? Pairing up Soto and Rodriguez would have been electric. But what this tells me is that, I mean, was that a 1 year kind of thing? Or was this a multiple year thing where they don't want to go over the cap, where they don't want to come close to it even? So that worries me a little bit. And I feel like for the Mariners, they made too many subtractions and not enough additions. I was high on this team going in the offseason because I was really hoping that they would be players for some of these big free agents. I was really hoping because Seattle baseball, I mean, baseball's better when Seattle baseball is doing good. That's just how it is. Um, so I'll get us started here. 87.5 for the over under. Regarding
That's way
everything I said in my little spiel here, I think 87.5 is a little too high for this team. So I'm taking the under. Um, however, I think they just miss it. This is an 85-86 win team.
Uh, I'm thinking it's not an outlandish take, but I'm going to say it here. It wouldn't surprise me if the Mariners had a top 5, top 10 rotation, but a
Easily.
bottom 10 offense in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be a matter of if that pitching can keep you in the games, and then the offense can chip in 2, 3, 4 runs, maybe. I'm not looking for this team to put up 7 runs a game. I don't say we glossed over Mitch Garver. I mentioned him, but they brought him in off of a nice season in Texas. But other than that, he's it's sort of, I don't want to say a one hit wonder kind of guy, but like he definitely had a great year last year. And other than that, I'm not sure I'm too confident. I wouldn't have wanted my team to sign him to be a DH or part time catcher sometimes too. But 87.5, I'm gonna agree with Kyle here. This is an under for me, but again, not by much. Anywhere from 84 to 86 is exactly what I'm thinking here.
yeah, under. Um, Small ball has to be your friend this year. Seattle has to be your friend. Is yeah, like Matt said, I don't expect them to score 6, 7 runs a night. Um, yeah, again, it's just disappointing. It's like, how do you think the fans feel? You know, they were bad for so long, and then they have this resurgence the last 4 3 4 years, and just when they're ready to take that next step, ownership, we're gonna downsize the payroll this season. That pissed me off if I was a Mariners fan. It's like you're on the doorstep. Take the next step and spend some money.
Yep.
Sucks. Disappointing.
Yeah. Next up.
Um, I'm going to do the Houston Astros. Rangers are the defending World Series champions. They go last. It's only right.
Yep.
Uh, Astros. Dusty Baker retired from managing. From managing now, I think he does have like a front office role with the Giants now. So happy retirement, Dusty. Um, they got a new manager. Why can't I say it? Joe uh, Espada. We'll go with that. Joe Espada was named their new manager. Um, they signed. Now this was Astros kind of came out of nowhere with this. They signed Josh Hader to a 5-year, $95 million deal. That will Matt'll give you the team and stuff right now, but man, that bullpen, your 7, 8, 9 guys, that's pretty good. And they gave Jose Altuve an extension, 5 years, 125 million to basically make him an Astro for life. So good for him. And that's what I have for the Houston Astros.
Yeah. Not a huge offseason other than bringing in um, Josh Hader. Now, their lineup, Jose Altuve, it's the same crew, same cast of characters here. Jose Altuve, Jordan Alvarez, Alex Bregman, Kyle Tucker, Jose Abreu, Yiner Diaz, we saw last year, Chas McCormick, Jeremy Pena, and Jake Myers is currently projected as a starting center fielder. Could easily be Mauricio Dubon instead. Um, I mentioned Dubon on the bench with Corey Jolks, who saw a lot of time last year, John Singleton, and Victor Caratini. The rotation. This is where you could lose some people here, possibly, depending on their thoughts on the Astros this year. Framber Valdez, Christian Javier, Jose Urquidy, Hunter Brown, JP France with Justin Verlander waiting in the wings, as well as Lance McCullers, and Luis Garcia. Some of them Luis Garcia coming back from Tommy John. Not sure if he's going to be back this year. But McCullers, too. I'm not sure what his timetable is. But yeah, the rotation or the bullpen, very strong. Rafael Montero, Brian Abreu, Ryan Presley, and Josh Hader. That's sort of your a 6, 7, 8, 9 guy there. But I mean, I'm sure they're going to use
That's
him
bullshit,
interchangeably
man.
some too.
That's
That is a nasty back four in your bullpen. I think the Astros are going to be favorites in the AL West, and I think they're going to make their way back to the ALCS again this year. They're still loaded again, and even without Justin Verlander, we'll see if he can make his way back and still contribute at a high level to this team. Pitching staff, if we got what we got out of them last year, is going to worry me. But I'm counting on them to take a step forward. Each of them. Framber, you need to be more consistent. Yeah, you had a no-hitter last year, but you also had games where you blew up early on. You had some control issues, my guy. You were hitting people left and right. Um, Christian Javier, people were picking you to be a stud breakout Cy Young candidate last year. You sort of let people down with that. And Hunter Brown as well, supposed to be the second coming of Justin Verlander. Wasn't quite that. Pitched to like a 6 ERA last year, too. So, rotation needs to take a step up. But other than that, same old Astros. They're going to keep rolling on.
yeah, exactly. And if the Astros have a lead after 7 innings, I hate to break it to the rest of the league, you're not going to win too many of those games. I really love this back end of the bullpen. Abreu, Presley, Hader. Damn. Any three of those guys can close games. We'll see if Hader wants to, come in the eighth or seventh, but he is going to be probably the
He
closer.
shouldn't
But
need to.
yeah, he's going to need to. But we'll see if he does it. But yeah, this is the same old team, and this is they are World Series contenders just because they've done it before, but that pitching is a little worrisome. And Justin Verlander is not getting any younger. Not getting any younger.
Nope.
And who knows? And now, granted, you don't need him now in April. You need him in September and October. But I think the rotation could be a little bit better. But this Astros team is still going to be very good. And yeah, they're the favorites to win this division, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you could make a case that this starting rotation is probably the worst that we've seen out of this Astros quote unquote dynasty in the last 5, 6 years. However, you guys kind of just hit it right on the head. Bullpen's magnificent. The lineup is still going to do what they need to do. Um, Over under set at 92.5. I have them winning the division this year. I'm taking the over.
Uh, yeah, same. Give me the over.
Yep, over 95.
Easy. Yeah. Yep. They might not be the 105 win Astros, but they're still going to be the dominant Astros this year.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean it's not going to take 100 wins to win this division.
Mm-mm.
No.
All right. Lastly, the defending World Series champion Texas Rangers. Congratulations, guys! You won your first World Series in franchise history.
Welcome to the club.
Now here's where, yeah, welcome to the club. This is where it gets bad. You didn't really do much. If anything, you kind of lost some pieces. They signed Kirby Yates. Adolis Garcia got a 2-year extension. They signed David Robertson, and they brought back Travis Janikowski. That is what I have for this Texas Rangers team going into 2024.
Yeah. Not very much. You're still dealing with Max Scherzer injury. You're still dealing with Jacob DeGrom probably not pitching, and if he does, it's gonna be like one or two games at the very, very end of the season. Very unlikely. Even Tyler Molly, kind of forget that he's a Ranger, actually, and he's still injured as well. Um, the lineup Marcus Semien, Evan Carter, Adelise Garcia, Jonah Heim, Josh Young, Wyatt Langford is going to be projected to be sliding in there. Leody Tavares, Justin Foscu. I mean, that's gonna be Nathaniel Lowe when he gets healed up. He's currently dealing with a minor injury. Now Corey Seager's coming off of a sports hernia surgery. We'll see how long it takes him to recover from that, but for the time being, it'll probably be Ezekiel Duran at shortstop. But Corey Seager, we didn't forget about him. He is still a Texas Ranger. He's going to be a big part of this team. Now the rotation, where again, you kind of lose me here. Evaldi, John Gray, Andrew Heaney, Dane Dunning, and Cody Bradford. Uh, all right. not too great compared to what you had last year. DeGrom, Scherzer. I mean, not at the same time, really,
Montgomery.
but DeGrom and Scherzer. Yeah. Jordan Montgomery. I don't want to say they overperformed last year, but
Hmm.
this isn't a team I'm predicting to make the World Series this year. That's for sure.
Little fluky.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that
I
happens.
don't know.
That happens to a lot of teams. I'm sure if you can go back and look at teams that have won. But yeah. This Rangers team is they're okay. I still think this is a playoff team. I could see them as a wild card team. I think it's going to be the Mariners and the Rangers fighting for that spot. But wasn't impressed with their offseason. Now I think they're under that kind of Bally's thing going on right now, so they kind of don't know what their future spending is going to look like with that. Um,
Yep.
I don't know. I'm not that impressed. I wasn't that impressed with their offseason. This is still a good team, though. Don't get me wrong. I like the lineup, but kind of disappointing. I know they're not going to bring him back, but Montgomery would really look nice in this rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you guys. Lineup is fantastic. I have absolutely no problems with the lineup whatsoever. However, this pitching staff got worse and the bullpen got worse, and they didn't do anything to really improve either of them. You're losing Montgomery. You don't know what you're going to get out of Max Scherzer and Jacob DeGrom. Um, that hurts a lot, and it's tough. It's really tough. As a whole, pitching worries me a lot. And like you guys have just said, they didn't add much at all. I feel like this is the same case with the Mariners. I feel like you subtracted more than you did add. So it worries me. However, I still think this lineup is going to push you through this season. Um, Over under set at 88.5. I was going back and forth. I really was. But I still think this is like a 90 win team. So I'm taking the over.
Hmm. Interesting. I I don't know. I don't think so. I'm gonna take the under on the Rangers. No, not by much. I'm not saying they're a 500 team, but I could see an 86 win team, 86 win Rangers team this year. Definitely.
I wish this number was 89 or 86, because I take the over right at 88. Um, I'm gonna go over. They just get
Okay.
it though.
Agreed.
89, 90. After I just said I wasn't impressed with their offseason. You know what this is with the Rangers though? It's they push all their chips into the table at the trade deadline last year to win that World Series. So kind of like, hey, it's like they put everything on the credit card to go all in and win, and they did. Now you got to pay it back. So yeah, I think they're over for me. They just get it though. Not feeling confident about that though.
All right. Time for division standings predictions. Does anybody have theirs off the top of their head already? Kyle? Yeah?
That would
All
be
right.
me. Yeah, so I'm pretty much gonna follow in suit with the over unders. I'm going Astros, Rangers, Mariners, Angels, A's.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going Astros, Rangers, Mariners, Angels, A's. The exact same as Kyle.
You
Well,
gonna
we'll
be
make it three
different?
for three. No, I'm
Okay.
not going to be different on this one. Yeah. I don't
Angels
think
first
so.
place.
Not anymore. The only ones I could consider shuffling is the middle three, but I think I like them where they're at right there. So no, Astros, Rangers, Mariners, Angels, A's. Perfect. Um, Now division MVP and Cy Young picks. Ooh.
Anthony Rendon. Uh,
Go ahead, Melo. He's your guy.
hey, my guy.
Ah, give me Jordan MVP. Cy Young, George Kirby.
Mmm. I like
Big
that.
breakout year for him. Yep.
Okay, I'll go. Cy Young, I'll go Castillo. Um, then my MVP of this division. Damn, so many ways I can go with this.
Trout.
Just thinking about it. Uh, I'm stuck with two guys, and the second guy might not be what you think. But I'll go Mike Trout. I'll go Mike
Ooh,
Trout.
okay. Who's
He's
the other
gonna
guy?
remind. I was thinking Alex Bregman because he's
Oh,
got a
okay.
contract coming up this year,
He does. He does.
and I think he's a little undervalued a little bit right now.
Hmm.
But I'll go with Trout. I think he's gonna remind the league this year of he's still Mike Trout.
So my MVP of this league is kind of gonna play into my standings just a little bit. So I was one of the two who picked the over on the Texas Rangers, and I think it's because they're held by this lineup. So I'm taking Corey Seager as my MVP. And for my Cy Young, I think this just tells you how good this Mariners pitching staff is, considering that we're all picking Mariners, but they're all different. I'm going Logan Gilbert for my Cy Young.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Mariners sweep for Cy Young.
Shouldn't come as a shock to anybody.
No. No, they're loaded for sure.
Oh,
Yeah, the
and
Cy Young.
breakout player, I've already said it, Mariners. I think Brian Wu is going to have a hell of a year. I'm going to lay that out right here.
Ooh. If we're doing breakout players, give me Evan Carter for the Rangers.
I also had him for the Rangers. Yeah.
Yeah, building off of that the playoff performance he had last year. Big things coming for Evan Carter this year.
Not really breakout because we saw glimpses of him before he got hurt. Logan O'Hoppe, big
Yep.
year with the Angels.
Yep.
Mine for the
Yep.
Angels.
Big year.
Awesome. Well, that's going to round out our AL West predictions and our full division predictions. Look at that.
Oh God, we
We
made it.
made it. We made it. I know we all enjoyed it. Some divisions more than others. Some are going to be more interesting than others. That's for sure. Now we talked about it. I think we're gonna be doing our full MLB predictions
Oh
in
boy.
Florida next week when we're all together,
Jesus.
putting it all together. So yeah, it's gonna be the whole thing: World Series predictions, league MVP, Cy Young, Rookie of the Year, stuff like that. So that's going to be next week's episode. It may not be recorded on Monday. We'll see. It'll come out sometime next week. We're going to be all together in Florida in person to record it together in the content house that we're going to be at. That's
Yeah.
what we're going to call it, the content house. Yeah,
Yeah, and
looking forward to it.
and we're gonna have a little bit of a live audience in the house. I'm excited for
Oh. um, yeah, Mello performs better in front of a live audience. So,
Oh, I mean, have you not seen me?
So okay,
I'm one of one. I can perform anywhere.
okay.
just so we're clear here, I can guarantee you next week's episode is going to get no controversy, right? We're
No,
no hate, right? Not at
No,
all.
no.
no.
I didn't think
I
so.
mean, we know our followers and our fans. Nobody hates on anything that we do. Comments are all nice and cheerful and encouraging all the time. Yeah. No. Yeah, we'll be having a great time in Florida next week. Lots of great content coming out. Spring training games. Hopefully, we can get some
Korean series.
credentials. Yeah, the Korean series getting up at 6 a.m. to
Damn it!
watch
Otani's
that.
first game as a Dodger. That actually
Yeah.
means something.
And, okay, and we all know that Melo's probably going to be going around the entire house with a cowbell, waking our asses up.
Yep.
Goddamn right.
Yep.
5:30. Everybody. Everybody out.
Yes.
Everybody in the living room by the anthem. Doing my
Yeah.
pregame rituals and stuff.
So we're gonna be having an awesome time next week in Florida. Look out for all the great content coming your way, and yeah, episode 69 next week too. Just saying, things could get
Nice.
crazy. Yeah, it will be very nice. So watch out for the AL West draft. We'll be recording that tomorrow. It'll be coming out on Wednesday. So yeah, check that out too, and then maybe another special draft to round out the season. We'll see. We'll see what we can cook up for you there too. But yeah, thanks for watching and listening, and we'll see you next week live from Tampa, Florida. See ya.
Adios.